I hope it'll be the same for you.
Thank you.
Cool. I love it.
Good. Excellent. Well, I make it 12 o'clock, so I'm going to have one final glug of my coffee and then we will start. So if you can find your cushion or your block or whatever you need to help you feel that you are seated comfortably. And we will come to it looks like I'm going to have my little trusted helper here now. Good boy. So just sitting yourself on the edge of whatever you're sitting on, that allows your knees to fall lower than your hips. Now you don't have to sit like I'm sitting. I just have very loose limbs. If you find that you can't sit cross-legged without wearing your knees around your ears, you might find that you want to do that, which is also very good. The most important thing about this is not the shape that we're making, but the comfort that we're sitting in. So it's got to be comfortable. And if that means you would prefer to sit with your back up straight against a wall, then go for that. But let's just really bring our attention now to the length in our spines and trying to create as much space between each and every vertebra that we can. And for you, Kieran, with your knees slightly up, I would bring your palms into your lap if I were you. Then it means that your shoulders aren't artificially elevated. Perfect. So let's slightly tuck the chins now, imagining that you've got an orange or something underneath your chin. And that just allows a little bit of extra length in the cervical spine. So really grow tall here, trying to imagine that you're creating distance between the bottom of your rib cage and the top of your hips. Just spend a moment seeing what it feels like to be sitting fully upright. You know, for lots of us, as we go about our busy days, when we sit down, we rarely sit like this. And to be honest, it would be quite uncomfortable if we had to sit as rigidly as this. But bring your attention to your shoulders now and really let them be heavy. Imagine them just dropping away, being drawn by gravity down towards the ground. Just move my notes where I can see them a bit more easily. And let's either lower the gaze here or close your eyes completely and just tune in to what sensations you're aware of as we're sitting here. So maybe you feel a little bit tight in your hips, or maybe it's been a long while since you've sat perfectly up straight. Perhaps you feel a little bit tense. Let's just try and let go of any tension all the way through the body. So unfurrowing the brow, letting the eyelids be soft, and the cheeks, letting the teeth part so that we're not biting our jaw together, keeping that chin tucked in slightly so we've got length in the back of the cervical spine. Shoulders are really heavy here, both weighing down. Imagine that they're sliding down your back. Palms are soft, fingertips softly curled in towards the palms. Legs are relaxed, knees, calves, feet. Just make sure you're not holding any tension where it's not needed. And just bring your attention to your sitting bones for a moment. So try and visualize sitting on your sitting bones completely squarely. So there's even weight in either side. Sometimes we have a tendency to sit a little bit higher one side or the other. That's why sitting cross-legged is a terrible habit that we're all in, because it just slightly destabilizes our pelvis. And while we're sitting here now with this nice upright position, morning Hannah, nice to see that you've made it. So really bringing our attention to the length of our spine. And now let's let our tummy muscles be really relaxed here. Let your belly hang out and bring your awareness of your breath to the belly. So breathe so that your belly is being moved in and out. So although the breath isn't actually going into the belly, when we fill our lungs thoroughly with air, it pushes the diaphragm down into the belly space, which makes the belly rise and fall. So this is the best possible way to breathe. If you are ever starting to feel anxious or tense, bring your attention to your belly breath and just connect with movement of the belly in and out, nice and slowly. If you're still feeling a little bit tense or anxious, see if you can slow the exhale. So just hang on to it for a second longer than the inhale. And what we're doing here is giving our parasympathetic nervous system cues and clues that things are calming down. So moving our focus of attention from the belly breath now, let's just visualize the rib cage. And see if you can visualize the rib cage flaring into the side body so it slightly lifts and widens as each intercostal muscle stretches and then contracts. So we're moving in and out the side body. Maybe it's just a visualization, perhaps you can't actually feel it yet. We're training our minds and our bodies to harmonize with each other, and sometimes it takes quite a while to tune into what's actually happening within. So if visualization is the best you can do, then that's absolutely good enough. So just imagining the intercostal muscles as they expand and contract with every breath. And now bring your awareness into the back body, the ribs at the back. We tend to think of the ribs just sitting at the front, but of course they protect us at the back as well. So imagine the rise and fall of the rib cage at the back of the body. Perhaps noticing how the space between our shoulder blades, it's very subtle, but there's a shift in distance between the shoulder blades with every in and exhale. And now let's shift the attention once more to our collarbone area. I want you to try and deepen your breath here. Take a really big inhale and see if you can catch the point at which your neck muscles suddenly engage. So it's at the lower part of the neck where it comes into those collarbones. This is where the very tops of our lungs sit. If you can catch the neck muscles engaging, then the very tops of the lungs are filled with air. So we'll just sit with that awareness for just a few rounds of breath. Breathing in and out through the nostrils. And now just letting any control of the breath completely go. Let the breath find its natural rhythm here. And feel a sense of release in your body, and just noticing if it's starting to feel a little differently to when you first arrived on your mat this morning. And very slowly and gradually just letting your eyes open. Excuse me for just a moment, something's cropped up on my screen, which I need to get rid of. And so letting your eyes open and just readjusting. Things are quite different when you've got your eyes shut and when you've got your eyes closed. So shifting your position if you need to make yourself any more comfortable. We're going to bring our attention to our neck and shoulders now. So bringing our focus to our upright posture once more. And let's bring our chin all the way down onto the chest. So moving nothing else in the body at all. Hands are softly resting either in our lap or on our knees. And hopefully you can feel that lovely stretch in the back of your neck into your shoulders. And then slowly bringing your head back up to neutral here. Now we're going to take our right ear and just let the head incline so that the right ear is over the right shoulder. So you'll feel a really strong stretch from your left ear into your left shoulder. And I want you to let gravity take that left shoulder down, because your body will want to assist by bringing that shoulder up so that we don't have such an intense stretch, but we want that stretch. So just let that shoulder try and release there. Just noticing what's happening within the body with your, oh bless you, with your posture here. Feeling the intensity of that stretch. If it really is very intense, obviously just back out of it a little. We're not going for all or nothing here this morning. We're easing into it, and slowly bring head and neck back to center. Realign your posture, and then let's take the left ear over the left shoulder, noticing if this feels different on this side. It probably almost certainly will. So again, letting your right shoulder be really heavy and relaxed. Feeling the stretch between the right ear and the right shoulder. And then slowly bringing that head and neck back to neutral. Now this time we're going to turn our heads to the left. Again, make sure you haven't brought in any new muscles to recruit this move. Let everything else be quite passive. And then to center and all the way around to the right. Again, letting the shoulders just drop here. Once more through center and round to the left. And last time through center and round to the right. And back to center again. If you're wearing glasses, just pop them off for a moment, because we're going to do a funky little move with our eyes. And do any of you wear contact lenses? No, good. Don't ever do this with contact lenses in. So if you wear contact lenses, this is not for you. So just sitting comfortably, nice and relaxed in the shoulders, and looking directly forward without moving anything except your eyeballs. Look up. So take your eyeballs so that you're looking right up into your eyelids, if you like. It's almost impossible to do this without furrowing your brow, or I can't do it anyway. And then slowly bring the gaze forward, and then take your eyeballs all the way down. So you're looking into your cheeks, if you like. So again, we're not moving our head and neck, it's just the eyeballs. And then back to center. Now we're going to take our gaze all the way over to the right. This is a really good exercise if you spend a lot of time looking at a screen. And then back to center. Now all the way over to the left. Try not to hold your breath. It's really difficult. And then back to center. Just have a little blink, screw your eyes together for a moment, take a rest. Who knew? Yoga for the eyeballs. Now we're going to take our gaze completely up again, and we're going to follow circles with our eyes. Clockwise or anti-clockwise, entirely up to you. Nice and slow. Just noticing if you've got any kind of sticking points or points where it's less comfortable, and taking extra care. So just going around a couple of times and then stopping at the top and reversing the direction. And then stopping at the top, bringing your gaze center and squeezing the eyes shut, just relaxing everything and let it all go. I know that feels a bit of a weird one, but it's actually quite important that we keep the muscles around the eyes and the eyeball, keep it exercised as well. It's still a muscle like in the rest of our body. So from here, you can pop your glasses back on if you wear them, sitting nice and tall once more, and bringing your left hand next to your left hip. Either it's on the ground, perhaps you're up on your fingertips like I am. You can't really see my fingertips. We're going to reach straight up with the right arm. And the first thing to notice here is that, first of all, your right shoulder will come up. So slide it down, and you might have come out of your right hip. So make sure you're square on both hips. And then from here, very slowly and mindfully, keeping the weight in that right hip, we're going to take a little dip over towards the left. So what we're doing, we're increasing the space between the rib cage and the hip on the right hand side. So this is an entirely side body stretch. So we're not stretching down to the front or round to the back, this is just going to the side. So you might need to bend into your left arm a little here. So don't make it too intense. And then slowly back up to center and bring that arm down to the side. Come up on the fingertips on this side. And let's reach up with the left arm. Really reach away strongly with those fingertips. Reaching up, let that left shoulder slide down. And then let's take a little dip over to this side. Noticing if it feels different. We usually have a tighter side and a looser side in our bodies. You might feel all sorts of things clicking and clanking and dropping into place as we go through these moves. It's all quite normal. What isn't normal is any pain. We want to stop if there's pain. So really actively stretching away with your fingertips, no passive dangly armed excuses for stretches here. We want a bit of intention in all of them, and softly coming back up to the center and bringing that arm down. This time we're going to reach up with the right arm again, and we're going to bring the right arm over to the left knee. So once more, we want the right sitting bone, hip and knee to be down. Left hand comes behind us, either onto the cushion or block or whatever we're sitting on, or behind our bums on the mat. And use that hand to help elevate you a little more and to just pull that left shoulder back. So imagine that you're squeezing your shoulders together now, and then we can look over the left shoulder. So we've got quite an active twist going on. If it's too active, just come out of it a notch, but you should be feeling this all the way from your right hip. You should be feeling it into your left shoulder, also into your right shoulder. There's lots being stretched here. Connect with your breath, make sure you can breathe. Head and neck come back to center, and then let's just unwind here for a moment. Take a couple of loops of your shoulder, whatever feels instinctively something that would be nice to do. And then let's bring the left hand to the right knee. Right hand comes behind our bums just to lift and lengthen the spine here. Pull that right shoulder back, and then we can look over. So again, if this is too intense, take it nice and easy on yourself. We want to twist. It hasn't got to be how far can you haul yourself round. It's not about that at all. We're just creating some space in the body. We're ironing out some areas where we tend to hold tension. But it's important that we can still breathe while we're doing this. And then head and neck come back to center, and let's unwind here. Take a few loops with the shoulders. And whatever you're sitting on, if you can pop yourself off that now, so that we've got bums on the floor, and then stretch both legs out in front of you. Maybe give them a little pat on the mat. Release out any tension where we've been sitting with our legs crossed or with our legs bent. And then with the right foot, we've got two options here. I want you to bend your right knee and either have your right foot inside your left leg with about a fist width distance, or if you are able, cross that right foot over the left leg. Try them out, see which version is most comfortable for you. You might feel happier like this. Really what you want to be able to do is kind of sit so that you're on top of both sitting bones here. So we're not kind of laying back like this. So you might need to rearrange yourself where we're just gently holding onto the knee here, but you know, it's not the only thing keeping us upright. So whichever version you're in, I'm going to cross my leg on this side, sitting up nice and tall here and taking the left elbow and hooking it around the right knee. So whether you're like this or like this, the elbow's in the same place. The right hand comes behind our bum just to lift and lengthen once more. And I want you to really activate your left foot. So flex that left foot by pushing the heel away and pulling the toes back towards the shin. And then let's look over the right shoulder. So once more, we're in a twist, but we're also lengthening our hamstring on our left leg. So connecting with the breath. Obviously, it's a bit more difficult now that we've got a bit of compression in our tummy area, our knees in the way. Lifting and lengthening, and then slowly unwinding And coming back to center, and wherever we are with the leg, if you did manage to cross your leg, I can see your lovely faces, but I can't see what your legs are doing. Let's all take this uncrossed leg version and then slowly let that knee drop out to the side. Bring the sole of the foot inside the thigh here. So maybe you want to have something underneath your knee to make it more comfortable. Maybe you're fine with that. But bring your attention once more to how you are seated. So we want lots of long length in the spine. The reason I keep banging on about length in the spine is that this is what allows us to breathe effectively. If we can breathe effectively, we're less likely to be affected by disease. You know, sadly, if we're not able to take enough breath into our bodies, they can't function as well. So from here, just taking a very slight twist of the ribs, I want you to face your outstretched leg. Really push the heel of that foot away. And as we lift and lengthen, we're going to reach our fingertips towards the foot and very slowly bring our noses closer to the foot. Now, immediately you should feel an engagement in the hamstring, into your glute. Really actively stretch away with those fingertips there. Reach, reach, reach. Just noticing how you feel. Ali, just sit up a little more upright. You've kind of... let me show you from the side. Or take a break if you need to. So where we're going with this, we've got this nice upright spine, and all we're doing is decreasing the angle at the hips. What we're not doing is getting closer to our leg, which is a tendency to do. So just make sure you're nice and tall, and we're just sending the fingertips and our noses forward. We're trying to get our nose over our toes. This left foot is active, which makes it lovely and strong in the hamstring, just reaching away here. So that looks a little bit better. Let's give it another go. So just spending a moment with left leg out long, right knee is out to the side like so. Fingertips come up, and we're just going to reach forward towards those toes. Lovely. Tuck the chins very slightly as though you've got an orange there. So we're just making the gap between our torso and our hip a little bit smaller. So it's not the shoulders, it's the hips. And then slowly coming back up again. And let's stretch that leg out and give it a pat. Oh, that feels nice. Right, let's go on the other side now. So either having the foot next to the thigh with a fist width in between, or crossing over, your choice, whatever feels more comfortable for you. This is nothing to do with ability, it's how your bodies are and have been assembled. So you might feel more comfortable in one than the other. So really sitting nice and tall, we're going to get our right elbow and hook it around that left knee. Then left hand comes behind our bums, and we're going to use the pushing down into the left hand to just bring a little bit of lift and length here. Maybe you need to hug your tummy out of the way, and just to allow yourself to sit up nice and tall. And once you're in that beautifully upright position, let's flex into that right foot and take a turn over the left shoulder. So we've got another lovely twist and stretch of the spine here. Really helps with our day-to-day mobility and how we're feeling, how efficiently we can get energy into our bodies, and then how it's used. And then slowly head and neck come back to center. Let's unpretzel ourselves and just letting that knee fall out to the side now. So remembering, if you want to support the knee, that's absolutely fine. Making the right foot nice and active now. Let's slightly turn our ribs so that we're facing the upturned toes, and stretching out with our fingertips. Let's take a little reach forward. So we're trying to get our noses over our toes. Really feel the length in the back of the hamstring into the glute. Can you all feel that? Is that where it's active? Good stuff. I've just realised Emma's not with us. She's going to be cross if she's overslept. So stretching, stretching, stretching here. And then slowly coming back up to upright. And this time, instead of taking this leg long, we're going to bring the other leg in to meet this, and we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Now, find where it's comfortable for you. You might feel comfortable with your feet very close to you. You might feel more comfortable with a longer diamond shape. Just want you to be able to sit like this just for a few rounds of breath. We're not going to be here for half an hour or anything, but what we're doing, we're opening our hips here. We're getting some mobility into the hips. Maybe if you're able to clasp your hands and place them underneath your feet, and just use a little bit of tension on your arms to pull your bodies forward, which again will bring that lovely stretch into your glutes, into the buttock area. Nice long line of energy in your spine here. Connecting with your breath, breathing into your belly. And now completely round down, as though you're trying to get your head in between your feet. Just visualize it. Just imagine that's where you're going. Really round into the shoulders here. Take a really kind of sloppy, lazy version of what you're doing. Just relax for a moment. Catch your breath. And then slowly, let's uncurl. And mindfully and carefully, we're going to bring ourselves around now onto all fours. So just taking your time to get here. And we're going to come into a tabletop position. So you want your hands to be spread really wide like starfish. You want your body weight to be firmly supported by this straight line of bone here. So we don't want to be off at any crazy angles. We want the weight there into a solid structure. Knees are beneath hips. We're just going to take a moment here to look down between our thumbs. Let me just check you out. Looking good. Okay. And from here, so tops of feet are just resting on the mat. From here, I want you to start to push the mat away from you as you bring your chin in towards your chest. So I want your shoulders to dome and separate, and you should feel this stretch in your back all the way into your lower back here. So chin is on your chest, you're looking back towards your feet, you're pushing the mat away, you're very strong in your arms here, and you've got a lovely rounded back. Beautiful, lovely job. So imagine you're an angry cat here. And now we're going to reverse that. We're going to start to drop the belly as we bring our chins forward. And we're going to hollow through our back. So imagine you're sticking your bums up here, still pushing the mat away, but we have made the spine go in an opposite way. Super job. So really stick your bums out here, chin is up. Let's start to go the other way again. So chin's coming in towards the body as we push the mat away. So this is cat, cow. And we move between these two shapes. Let's do a couple more in your own time. So forward and back, dropping the belly, feeling the stretch in the front body as you bring your chin up towards the ceiling or just up in front. And then back the other way. So just feeling the difference between the two and what's actually happening with your spine. So you're articulating between all the vertebrae here. So you can imagine, do you remember those little plastic or wooden snake things you could get where every joint was articulated? Imagine your spine is like that. And we're just working through all the little bits and pieces here. And then coming now to a neutral position where you imagine that your back is flat and that you're looking down between your thumbs. And then slowly let's send our hips back towards our heels. So leaving our hands where they are. We're coming into an extended version of child's pose. So bums are sat on our heels, if you can manage that. If that's really uncomfortable for you, you can either put something in between your heels and your backside, like so, or you can come up into puppy pose, where you're on your hands and knees, but your head and your arms are down. So your choice. This is a restorative posture. I want you to be comfortable. Is anybody having difficulty being in child's pose, or can you all manage it quite well? I can just about see you.
I'm doing puppy pose.
You're in puppy pose. That's absolutely fine. It's great to find a version of what we're trying to achieve that's comfortable. How about you, Hannah? You look quite comfy there. Are you all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Good. Kieran, how are you doing?
I can do it, but
I can do it, but not for like ages. Oh, good. That's all right then. So this is just where we catch our breath, if you like, taking a rest between postures, and then coming back to all fours again, making sure that you are weight bearing above your wrists and not got them at an angle. And you might want to watch this before we go anywhere. We're going to thread the needle. So I will do it with my right hand first. So I'm going to lift my right hand, bring it underneath the left. And as I do so, I'm going to bring the side of my face down to the mat. And I'm going to come up onto my fingertips. So I'm kneeling in puppy pose, and I've got the side of my face on the mat. And I've got a really lovely twist going on in my upper chest. So let's do that again. Come to all fours. And then let's thread the right arm underneath the left. And as we do so, start to lower your head towards the mat. If this is a bit intense, you can always have your block or a blanket or something to rest your face on when you get down here. It's all about just getting the benefits of the posture rather than making the shape. Coming up onto the fingertips so you can see underneath that left shoulder really easily. And if you are nice and comfy here, try outstretching the left palm right up towards the ceiling. This just brings a little bit more twist to the posture, just noticing how that feels. If it felt better the way it was before, then go back to that. It's really lovely. For Hannah and Ali, all I can see is your upstretched arms. Oh, actually, Hannah, I can see your bum as well, but it looks good. You're making good shapes. I can see what Kieran's doing. He's doing grand. So just taking a moment here and tuning into what's actually going on, and see if you can, if you've got your arm outstretched, see if you can just draw your thumb back, in fact the whole arm, as though you're trying to get it behind you, and you'll notice that this brings a little bit extra twist to the upper body. So we don't want to go too far, we're not trying to kill ourselves here, we're just trying to get this rotation in this upper part here. And then let's bring that left hand back down to the mat, pressing into it. Let's lift our faces off the mat and come back to neutral. And let's push back into child's pose here and just take a moment. Child's pose, puppy pose, whatever you would like it to be. Just take a break from the shape we were just looking at. 2 more breaths, and then when you're ready, let's come back to all fours, and we better go over onto the other side or we'll be all wonky donkey. So setting yourselves up again on all fours, and then just lifting the left hand and feeding it underneath on the right hand, coming down onto the left side of the face this time, and propping yourself up onto your right fingertips. Maybe this is far enough of a stretch for you, or if you want to outstretch the right arm, then you can do that also. I'm going to have a little look at you, see what you're all doing. Good job. Right, Kieran, for you, I'd like you to turn your palm so it's facing your sofa. That's it. Perfect. Now, really active in the fingertips. Hannah, for you, I want you to turn your palm so it's towards your door. Turn your palm to the door. That's it. Now, actively stretch through the fingertips. Perfect. Good job, everyone. And I've no idea what Ali's doing. I think she's having a snooze. And then when you're ready, slowly bringing that arm back down, bringing it back to the mat and making your way back to all fours, and then into your rested version of child's pose or puppy from here. So just coming back and taking a break, reconnecting with the breath. Notice how you're feeling. And then slowly coming up to a kneeling position, just so we can look at each other for a moment. And if you can, I'd like you all to adjust your cameras so that we're going to be laying down on our tummies now, but I want to be able to see you because Ali, you just disappeared from view completely at the moment, so I have no idea what you're doing. You might be having croissants and jam down there for all I know.
I'm having a nice snooze. Is that better? Hang on a minute.
As long as I can see, no, it needs to be down a little bit more. This is important because we're going to be doing some tiny back bends, and I want to make sure you're not overdoing it and that you're in the correct position. So just, Hannah, that's perfect. And I love your leggings, incidentally. They're beautiful. Thanks. Really nice. And Kieran, just lay down a minute. Let me see if I can see you laying down.
Lie down.
Yeah, we're going to be laying on our tummies, so I need to be able, yeah, you're going to need to move your camera, I think. Perfect, that's better. Right, we're now going to flip over to our tummies. Ali, I still don't think I've got you.
I don't know what to do. Hang on a minute. That's me. Right.
Okay, right, so.
Do you go like that? Is it like that?
Yes, that's better. Yep, perfect. Excellent, well done everyone. So just coming to lay on your tummies and bending both your arms with one hand on top of the other and make a little pillow for your head. So you can rest your forehead on top of your piled up hands. Excellent job, perfect. Right, now bring your toes in to face each other so that you are like in a pigeon-toed position. So ankles are rolled in, toes are facing towards each other, knees are about hip width apart. We're just going to roll from hip to hip here. So you're just waggling your hips from side to side. This is called crocodile pose, which is a bit of an odd one. And then from here, coming to stillness and just bringing your elbows in so they are in line with your armpits or directly underneath your armpits, and that your elbows are only as wide as your rib cage. So you don't want them really wide over the mat. They want to be tucked in so that the edge of your elbows or upper arms is touching your ribs, yeah? Now looking down directly at our thumbs, we're going to just apply some pressure into our forearms as we raise our upper bodies off the mat. So probably from the navel down, you are anchored onto the mat, and above the navel, you are up. Maybe that might be too intense for you. Maybe you look more like that. But we're just applying a bit of pressure so that we are resting on our forearms. This is called baby cobra. Right, let me face this way so you can see it from this way too. So my elbows are in sort of shoulder height. I'm looking down between my thumbs and I'm just pushing myself up. So legs and feet are completely passive. Nice job, Kieran. So what we're doing, beautiful. Ali, just wing your elbows in. So the forearms are completely parallel. That's better. That's better. Hands a little bit further apart, but not your elbows. That's it. And now push down and look down. So you should feel a nice length in your spine and a little bit of a back bend. Good job, Hannah. And then relax again. Make that little pillow. Just relax your head. Take whatever movement in your hips that you might want to make. Obviously, when we start doing these little back bends, they're quite intense. Kieran, you can come out of that now, unless your camera is frozen. Just pop your head on your hands. Take a little bit of a rest. And then this time, bring one hand in towards the body and then the other, but I want your thumbs to be level with your armpits. So imagine if you'd got a pair of dungarees on, or for us girls, that you could just hook your bra strap with your thumb there, but your elbows are winged right into your body like a little locust. So they're not stuck out to the side, they're right in and back. So you're squeezing your shoulders in together. And again, just placing the forehead where you probably won't be able to do it comfortably. Put the tip of the nose on the mat, looking directly down, and very, very gently just push into your hands as you raise up, leaving your head and neck exactly where they are. Kieran, look right down. Tilt your head down. That's it, like that. Now gently, gently, gently push up just a little way, pushing into the hands. That's it. It's a tiny back bend. Hannah, just wing your elbows in towards the body. So we're really squeezing the shoulders in, and then lower again. This isn't an endurance course. So we're just taking this tiny movement of winging the elbows in towards the body and pushing into the hands as we slightly raise up. Just give your glutes a squeeze while you're here. See how that changes things, and then lower again. Do that a couple more times. So your biceps are doing quite a lot of the work here, but they're assisting in this little back bend. Down we go again. And last time I'm going to watch you, so really pressing into your hands now as you just peel your upper bodies off the mat whilst looking down. Good job, Kieran. Excellent. I wouldn't come so high. No need, no need. Go down again and relax, everyone. Well done. Woo! So that's our first back bend out of the way. I'll have you doing crab and wheel in no time. Because of course your life will completely change once you can do that, let me tell you. Oh, so now we're going to come back to all fours again. I need to keep an eye on the time. So back to all fours. And this time I want you to tuck your toes. So you can all leave your cameras exactly where they are because I can see you. So we're in this all four position, and we're just going to get used to pushing into our hands and really pushing the ground away from us. So we get this doming in our shoulders. You really want to feel an engagement in your shoulders. Looking down between your thumbs, which means you've got your neck in a nice neutral position. You can shake no, you can nod yes, all is good. Feet and knees are about hip width apart. And now keeping your upper body exactly where it is, I want you to bring your intention and attention into your feet. And we're just going to raise our knees off the mat by a couple of centimetres. So looking down, it's quite intense. We're not going to do it for very long. I just want you to lift, breathe, lower. Okay? How are we doing? So making sure your weight is directly over your hands. Ali, really spread your palms there. Make sure you've got a lot of surface area for your body weight to go into. So lifting the knees here. We're holding, really pushing back into the feet, and we're lowering again. We're going to do it one more time. So tucking the toes and pushing away from the mat, lifting those knees for 3, 2, 1. Lower, and then really pat the backs of your feet on the mat. Where you've had your toes tucked, this is quite a nice release. And then tuck the toes once more, and then walk your hands back towards your knees. Oh, this is horrible, but it's really good for you. If you find it too difficult to sit with your feet tucked like this, then come up higher so that it takes the pressure out of it. Lots of people struggle with this one. It's a nasty bit of business, let me tell you, but it's very important for the plantar fascia underneath your feet. Helps keep your feet nice and mobile. So let's just take a moment here, feeling the joy in the bottoms of our feet. And then bringing the arms up about shoulder height with palms facing down. What I want you to do is just start to lean back. So only go as far as you suddenly feel your quad muscles tighten up and kick in. So we've still got our orange tucked underneath our chin. Kieran, just tuck your chin a little bit, chin down a tiny bit. That's up a bit. Imagine you've got an orange there. That's it, perfect. Now leaning back, so we're sending our hips forward, squeezing into the glutes. You should be quite aware of the energy that's in your thighs here. And then release. Come down to your hands, pat those feet off. Give it a moment, then we're going to tuck the toes again. We're going to come straight back up. We're going to take the arms out. We're going to do one more of these. So arms are outstretched, and we're going to start to lean back until we feel the quad muscles fire up, squeezing into the glutes, really intensifying that stretch in the thigh muscles, in the quads. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down we come and release the feet. Well done. That's hard work, that one. So tucking the toes for the last time, we're going to walk the hands towards the knees, and we're going to roll into the feet. We're going to tuck our chins right in, and slowly, 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 we're going to work our way up to standing, keeping that chin tucked right in so that you don't feel dizzy or faint as you come up. Oh, well done. Right, let me just adjust my camera. Hopefully that's okay. Okay, so we are going to come to Tadasana, which I think we spoke about last week. Tadasana is mountain pose. So we want our feet to be about hip width apart, and we're going to scoop our pelvises so that our hips are over our ankles. We give our toes a little wiggle, lift and wiggle and place the toes down. And then we're going to loop the shoulders up, back, round and down, and let them just rest. Let our palms slightly face forwards. So fingertips are heading down towards the floor here. We're nice and tall in the spine. We've got that tucking of the chin just to straighten out through the back of our spine here. Just taking a moment and just close your eyes for a few breaths. Just to appreciate the fact that we are actually balanced here. So rare that we stand in complete stillness. Perhaps you're aware of all the subtle shiftings of weight and muscles loading themselves to hold us in this shape. And then opening the eyes again. And let's take all the weight and focus into the left leg and foot. Bring your hands to your hips, really lifting and spreading the toes. And if we can, let's just bring the weight out of the right leg. Just testing the balance here, seeing how we are today. If you feel pretty good, bring the knee up so that we are in half Tadasana. Well done. If you're up and you're balanced, maybe you want to take the knee out to the side. So we're opening the hip here. Good job, everyone. Excellent. So looking at something in the distance that's at your eye height will really help you balance here. Then slowly back to center and really slowly, let's place that foot down. Excellent job, everyone. Balance is good today. Tomorrow it might not be. This afternoon it might not be, but at the moment it's good. Right, let's check it out on the other side. So lift and spread the toes on the right foot. Find a stable base, and then let's take the weight out of the left foot and start to raise the knee. Maybe this is an easier side, maybe it's more difficult. If and when you get there, let's see if we can rotate that hip out to the side. Oh, I'm starting to go. Really squeeze your glute muscles in here. Looking at that thing that's at your eye height, slowly back to center and lower that leg. Well done. Good job. Right, as you did that also well, we're going to add a little bit to that. So weight and attention back into the left leg. Let's bring that right knee straight up and grab hold of it with the left hand. So already we've stabilized ourselves here. If you can, take the right arm out behind you. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. So right arm is behind. My balance is shocking today. So looking at the thing ahead, really adjusting your posture so you're nice and tall. And if you are able, turn and look at your right palm. I can't, I'm challenged too much with this today. But if it's good enough that you've got your arm behind you, we're still in a lovely twist here. Just enjoy that, the opening at the shoulder here, and then slowly bringing the arm down and releasing that leg, popping it down, and let's go on the other side. Good job, everyone. You're doing better than I am. Normally, I'm quite good at balance, but I'm struggling with it today. Right, lift and spread, right toes. Find something to look at. Set your drishti point, and then lift the left knee. Take hold of it with the right hand, and when you're ready, take the left arm behind you. So you're slightly pulling on that left knee, pulling it across the midline. And if and when you're ready, perhaps you want to turn to look at the left hand. Excellent job. You're doing really well. Then back to center, arms come down, and set that leg down before we all fall over. Well done. Good job. Right, I'm going to teach you a warrior today. We're going to do some proper yoga. So we want our left foot, we want the toes to be facing the long edge of the mat. And with our right foot, we're going to turn it out the other way. So the right toes are facing the short edge of the front of our mat. Now we want to edge our feet apart. So we're quite wide. And then we're going to bend into this front knee, but we're going to leave our bodies where they are. So our bodies aren't coming with the knee. So we're going to, you might need to move the back leg back. So we want the front leg bent, and we want our bodies to be in the middle, yeah? So we don't want to be over here, so give it a go. You can straighten the leg, you can bend it, you can try, but we want our bodies to be in this nice long line. Make sure you can see the toes of your right foot, Otherwise it means your knee has gone too far forward. Because if you notice, once we've got our knee bent, we want to be in a nice right angle, so the energy can go straight down our shin. Once we're there, raising the arms up to shoulder height. Just taking a moment here, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then turn and look down the middle finger of your right hand. And with both your sets of fingers, stretch away actively. So we're really in a fierce warrior shape here. And now, if that wasn't enough to think about, squeeze your bum muscles and take the energy into the outer edge of your back foot whilst pushing into the toes of your front foot. We're just going to do that for 2 breaths and then, relax. There's an awful lot going on in Warrior Two. I know it looks quite a passive sort of, can do it, but actually to set yourself up and get everything where it should be, it's quite a lot of work. So now we'll turn and do it on the other side. So just twizzling your feet round. So maybe it will be that your heel looks as though it's in line with the arch of your back foot. Let's just set ourselves up again, getting ourselves nicely bent, where our knee isn't extending over the foot. We're pressing out into the outer edge of the back foot. Our bodies are nice and upright. Once we've set ourselves up here, scoop the pelvis, bring the arms up to shoulder height, stretching away with the fingertips, and turn and look down the middle finger of the left hand. So really stretching away, get the sensation that you're stretching away through the outer edge of the of the back foot, stretching into the toes of the right foot. Both sets of fingertips are pulling away from each other. And then slowly lower. And let's heel toe those toes back into each other. Well done. That's quite a tricky one, and you can probably feel it in your hips where we've been working it. So just turning towards the top of the mat now, tucking the chin right into the chest, and slowly, and 1 vertebrae at a time, we're going to start rolling down. So let your shoulders be really heavy and let your arms dangle here. So taking a moment as we make our way down very, very slowly. When you feel your hamstrings engage, bring a little bend into the knees. We don't need to have the hamstrings stretched here. And just bend as generously as you need to get your hands down towards the ground. And we're just going to stay here in this kind of bent forward fold. Grab hold of opposite elbows here, just so your hands are off the mat. Your torsos are resting on your thighs. Just taking a moment in this inversion. Inversions are very, very calming. And then hands come down to the mat, and very slowly and carefully we're going to lower ourselves down onto the mat. And then we're going to make our way down to laying down again. So this time we are going to keep our knees bent and the soles of our feet. I think I need to readjust my camera as well. Good shout, Kieran. Just adjust that. So we're laying down on the mat with our feet bent, palms are down, shoulders are nicely spread on the back of the mat. Tuck the chin slightly so you feel your neck lengthening. So knees are about hip width apart. And slowly just curl the pelvis in towards the body. We're not lifting it yet, just curl it in, and you'll notice that your entire spine flattens itself on the mat. Now roll it the other way so we can feel a little hollow creeping in the small of our back. And then let's bring it back the other way. This time we're going to raise the hips a little as we curl the pelvis in. So we're starting to push into our shoulders a little and then back down. So we're going to keep doing this small movement of tilting the pelvis forward and back. And each time we're going to start raising our hips a little bit higher. So we're working our way up to bridge pose. So making sure that our feet aren't too close to our bums. Just noticing how this feels. Really get the sense that you're articulating through your spine. You're laying each vertebrae down like a string of pearls. And then the next time we send our hips up, we're going to stay up. So when you've got your hips up, have a little wriggle with your shoulders. Try and get your shoulders squeezed in towards each other, which will help you raise your hips a little bit more. So we're pushing into the soles of our feet to raise our bums up, keep our hips nice and high. We're not going to stay here for very long, but just noticing where your breath is when you're like this. And then slowly and mindfully, we're going to start laying the spine back down again. One vertebra at a time. Oh, well done, everyone. Then bring one knee in towards the chest and then the other. Hold around your shins and let's take a little rock and roll from side to side here. Just massaging the lower back. Taking a moment. And then let's stretch our left leg away long here. And taking hold of the right knee with our left hand, we're going to slowly roll over towards the left. If you can, try and keep the right shoulder on the mat. So that might influence how far you get with your knee. But try and keep the right shoulder on the mat. And once you've got to where you're getting to, maybe lift and turn the head in the opposite direction. So knee is heading left, head and neck are heading right. So we're getting a good old stretch into the spine here and a twist. And then slowly we're going to bring head and neck back to center. Roll back onto both hips. Bring the left knee in to join the right. Take another little rock and roll here. And then let's stretch away long with the right leg. And take hold of the left knee, leaving the left shoulder on the mat. Let's roll the left knee over towards the right. You might not get as far this side, or you might get a lot further. Just notice where you get to, and then lift and turn the head to look left. Really connect with your breath here. Make sure that you can still breathe and that your breath is getting into, well, that the diaphragm is being moved so that your belly is rising and falling. It means we're working efficiently. And then head and neck come back to center, and let's roll slowly back to center. And let's take that left leg away long. So we've worked hard today, and this is the most important part of the practice. If you need to make yourselves warm here, do. If you've got your blanket or you want to put some socks on or another layer, we're going to be laying here in Shavasana for a couple of minutes. Shavasana or corpse pose is the body's opportunity to assimilate the practice that we've just done. So it's very important that we give it a chance just to work out what's been going on. And we lay here in complete stillness. So it's a bit like at the beginning of the practice where we settle and ground and just connect with our breath. We also do during Shavasana as well. So it's tuning your attention entirely within, noticing where your breath is moving the body. Noticing the subtle shifts of energy and perhaps where you can feel tingling and warmth where your muscles have been worked. And just releasing any tension in your forehead, your eyelids, your cheeks. Let your teeth part. Let there be a softness in your jaw and your throat. And let your shoulders really melt and separate into the mat here. Let them be fully supported by the earth beneath you. Soften in the mid-back and the lower back and the buttocks, the backs of the thighs, knees, calves, heels. thinking about releasing in the plantar fascia underneath your feet, all your toes, tops of the feet, shins, knees, thighs, hips, and then the soft belly area, just softening here, being aware of the rise and fall, the gentle tide of the breath. And the rib cage, and settling your attention at the heart center in the middle of the ribs there. I know that's not exactly where your heart is, but in yogic terms we think about it being our heart center is in the center of the rib cage. And then slowly let's bring one foot up close towards the body, then the other. And then one knee onto the chest and then the other. And let's take a moment here, just have another little rock and roll. Really just massaging the lower back into the mat here. Done a little bit of work back bending today. And then when you're ready, rolling out onto your right side. Maybe outstretching your arm, so it's like a little pillow. Just let the blood pressure equalise here, let your breath settle. And then slowly let's ease ourselves up into a seated position. Nice and slowly, no rush at all. Just coming up, we'll only be here for a few rounds of breath, so don't worry. Next time, if I forget to tell you, if any of you use essential oils, if you have any, have some to hand, because there's a lovely thing we can do at the end of the practice. I'm going to do it now. You can do it without oil, but you just put some oil between your palms. So if you start rubbing your palms together very vigorously, so that it really warms your hands and it warms into your shoulders where you're doing so much work here, you'll feel it. You'll feel the tops of your arms starting to get warm. And then after you've generated that heat between your palms, shut your eyes and just hold your palms in front of your face. Now, regardless of whether you've used any oil or not, you'll feel the heat from your palms radiate onto your face. I've got a lovely smell of rose geranium, which is gorgeous. And then bringing the palms together and sliding them down to heart center. And let's just drop our heads here, enjoying the final stretch of the practice in the back of our necks. And let's just take a moment to acknowledge the time that we've set aside to practice yoga this morning with each other and to unite our minds, our body and our breath. And just to learn a little bit more about our true selves, our inner selves, the inner workings, and how our bodies go about getting things done. So it's very much a mental practice as well as a physical practice. And I hope that you've had at least one opportunity to appreciate just how truly amazing your body is this morning. Thank you for your practice, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Are we all right?
Yes, thank you. That was
Yes.
lovely.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So each week we'll continue we try and work with all parts of the body. I try and do something standing, seated, laying down and all the rest of it, and to make sure we get a good mobilization. But if ever there's anything that you would really like to work on, just let me know and we'll do it. If for example, you've had a really tough week and you're very tight in your shoulders, let me know and we can shift the emphasis to shoulders slightly. But keep telling me what you want, otherwise I will just keep working through what I think is a progression of things that I'd like you to learn in this introduction to yoga, in hope that it will fire your enthusiasm to want to learn and do more. So yes, I hope you find it useful. I hope you have a really lovely mobile day where you're feeling good and open and nicely stretched. So anyone got any questions that or worries or observations?
You mentioned essential oils. I imagine you get those from health food shop or...
Yeah, Holland and Barrett sell them, the health food shops, or Boots, or or yeah, anywhere like that. You can get them from Amazon even. Amazon sell them by all kinds of brands, but Tisserand are quite a good brand. But they're just nice things to have. And when I do my restorative yoga practice on Wednesday evenings, which incidentally you're all invited to if you'd like to do it, we nearly always finish off with some essential oils, but you have to make sure that you get ones that are suitable for bedtime. Otherwise you'll get all revved up before bed and not be able to sleep. So if you treat yourself to any essential oils, make sure you know what they're going to do when you use them. Like this rose geranium is quite uplifting and it's quite energy building. So I wouldn't want to use that half an hour before I go to bed. You'd need lavender before bedtime. So, you know,
okay.
yeah.
All right, thank you for that.
Yes, yeah.
Great.
But no, they're nice things to use, and they also make your yoga stuff smell really nice too. But,
Thank
yeah,
you.
so is everyone all right? Are you feeling nice and stretched? And
Yeah.
now that we've got over the trauma of losing an hour.
No, thank you very much for accommodating that change in the hour. That's really kind.
No, it was my pleasure. My pleasure. It's just difficult when you're running two classes so closely together as I do on a Sunday. I might look to review that in future, but you know, you can't change one without changing the other without causing a lot of hassle. And as I say, I tied myself into a knot because I'm on Madrid time here, so we've also shifted our clocks. So
yes, of course.
it's my lunchtime now.
Oh, well, you bet you were starving. But thank you very much anyway.
You are very welcome. Lovely to see you. And there's Monday morning mindfulness tomorrow for anyone who would like to join in. That's at 9 o'clock your time.
Yep.
I will put the link out there. You just show up. There's nothing to pay. It's a freebie. So if you'd like to join in, you're very welcome. But have a lovely Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, Kieran?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Sorry, Ali, did you say something else?
You mentioned Wednesday. What do we need to do for Wednesday?
Right, Wednesday. I'll put a link in the little group. You're not on Facebook, are you? Because I share the information in there. But Wednesday night.
I'm not. No, don't worry. I'm sorry, I'm not on it.
Okay, I can put it in the WhatsApp group, but just to quickly tell you, Wednesday night is Wednesday night wind down. It's a restorative yoga practice. And I think you've done enough of the combinations of moves where you could know how to make it work for you. We work mainly either seated or laying down. And the whole idea is that we hold postures for a little bit longer. They're very deeply stretchy, and we're working with the breath. And the idea is that the practice prepares you for a good night's sleep.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yes, and it's a very popular class. Lots of people really like that. I think, you know, we're in strange times at the moment, and sometimes you just need to be able to let it all go, and that's what we do. But I'll put the info out there, so if you'd like to come and give it a go, you can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good week, everyone.
And you take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon.
Hasta la próxima.
Yes, sí. Gracias. Hasta luego.